What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 1817 Project, here to have a conversation. Now, before I get to the topic of the day, there is something I want to bring up, and it's about my last video. My last video was about that undocumented immigrant who was in an ICE detention center who sadly lost his life. When I posted that video, I wasn't speaking to the situation as a whole. I was just speaking on a very specific situation with that one undocumented immigrant that was in that ICE detention center. Everything outside of that one specific instance, I have not done knee-deep research into trying to see how widespread this possibly is about abuse and mishandling and mistreatment across the board for all undocumented immigrants who are currently in waiting to stand before a judge or is in waiting to be deported. That video was just specifically for that one situation that Dean Withers has brought up. Now, the reason why I want to bring that video up and just kind of explaining what that video was about, if you're watching this one today, feel free to go watch it, and I do ask that you watch it in its entirety, not just the very beginning or the middle. Just watch it throughout and then leave your comments about it. Now, the reason why I'm really wanting to bring that up before I move on to the topic of today is that video highlighted a lot of things regarding the comment section. My goal when I first started this YouTube channel was to really bring to light just how tribalistic and how dogmatic our nation has become. When intellectuals come together, it is no longer to actually help each other learn. It's no longer just trying to have a conversation to hopefully find a consensus, to build a shared vision, share ideas, to help each other grow as intellectuals. It is now very much turned into just warmongering and feeding into what is already a very politically toxic environment. The comments that were left on my previous video shined a light on that. Speaking of which, number one of the comments basically was just saying, "You have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you for letting us know that. I'm no longer watching the video. It's pointless." To me, it seems like they barely even got through 30 seconds of my video. That's gonna happen. I feel bad, obviously, that individual wasn't able to make it all the way through my video, but I do encourage everyone, when they do watch my videos, just try to make it all the way through and then come to a conclusion. Number two, one of the comments, which I have said since the start, I am not a Republican, I'm not a conservative, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a liberal. I refuse to put a label on myself, is that the moment I do, anybody outside that label has officially turned themselves off to me. And I do not want that. I want to learn from the left and I want to learn from the right and truly understand how it is we have become so lost as a nation when before, and I want to take this all the way back to our forefathers, intellectuals were actually able to come together and set aside their differences and actually have a conversation. And I keep saying a conversation because that's exactly what it used to be. Today, it's just debating. And I've said also, I find debating absolutely pointless. Nobody learns anything. Nobody's willing to budge. Nobody's willing to move. Those comments basically highlighted everything that I'm trying to expose. Instead of maybe leaving a helpful comment or trying to see where I was coming from, or maybe sending some articles my way or trying to find some understanding, it was just hatred across the board. And it seems like lately, sadly, that is how bad it has got, that if I don't specifically and 100% align myself with Republican, conservative, Democrat, liberal, out of nowhere with zero hesitation. It's just, I hate everything about you. So yeah, fun stuff. I do encourage you to go back and watch my video in its entirety. And if you have any helpful comments, anything, any learning tools you'd like to send my way, I'd very much appreciate it, because like I said, I have just entered this political arena that is a nightmare only a few months back, and I'm in the journey of self-discovery. Now, where this journey will lead me, I have no idea, but I am excited for it. I'm not going to delete any comments, whether they be hateful or helpful. I want everything across the board, because like I said, any little comment that's left behind, it will shed a light regardless of where we're at as a society when it comes to one another. Now, on to the topic of today. Speaking a little bit more with the ICE situation that is currently unfolding. A lot of people do not know this, but undocumented immigrants, when they are captured by ICE, they are protected by the 5th and 14th Amendment. And this amendment offers them to present evidence to dispute that fact, allows them to obtain an attorney, and also in that moment of being captured or approached by ICE, they do have the right to hear what the charges are that is currently being brought against them. Now, in saying that, depending on what administration is in office, they can either fully exercise those rights or skew them just a bit. And because we have a Republican in office, obviously those lines have been getting very skewed. And the one thing that will most definitely hurt an undocumented immigrant's chances of actually standing before a judge is a criminal record. If that undocumented immigrant has an extensive criminal record, that extremely hurts their chances, and their odds of being deported are very, very high, and their chances of actually being protected by those amendments are very, very low. But like I said, it depends on the administration that is currently in office. If a Democrat was in office, obviously those lines will be a lot less. Those conditions would be a lot less. Even if they had a criminal background record, they would still fully see those amendments, and they would be able to go through all the checks and balances in due process. But currently, with the administration that we have in office, at this point, if they capture an undocumented immigrant, one, they obviously are already breaking the law because they are here illegally, but beyond that, even if they have a criminal record of just simply stealing a Snickers bar from a gas station and it is on their record, that can speed up their process of being deported. Now, as a patriotic American, I am all about the laws that are currently in place. So the way that Donald Trump is currently handling this situation on ICE, I do have to say that I do slightly disagree with his approach, because in a lot of situations, which any system, anything that is brought into place obviously always has issues, and currently the way ICE is running has a lot of pieces that are broken. One of which, they have very much skewed those lines, so a lot of these undocumented immigrants that do have those amendments afforded to them are not seeing those rights. They are being overlooked, and at this point, he is just deporting just to deport them, because in his eyes, just being here illegally is enough to officially and entirely deport them from the country. Beyond this point, what can we do to fix it? In the court of public opinion, what can we do that will actually, what system can we put in place that is technically better that we can agree with, right? And instead of just finding an undocumented immigrant with an extensive criminal record or without one. What should we do? What if we just simply, instead of deporting them, if they have a family, they've actually been doing well in their communities, trying to reach out? What if step one, if you are undocumented and you are currently breaking the law, being here illegally, first step, you have to become a United States citizen. Step number two, because you have broken the law, I do believe whether or not they meant to break the law, they came in as children with their parents, they have been here and have been a part of the community for a long time, being helpful, I still believe that adults should be held accountable for their actions. And so, yes, some penalties should still be served to an undocumented immigrant, one of which, in the simplest way, they at least have to do 6 months to a year of community service. Once that time is spent, they can live here and prosper in America. That is one idea, instead of snatching them off the streets, splitting up families, and just deporting them. Where I can see is a little bit of a gray area, which, like I said, it depends on the administration in office. If they find an undocumented immigrant who is here illegally and he has an extensive criminal record, of the worst kind, whether it be murder, rape, child abuse, why would we want them to be a citizen of America? At that point, I would agree, just deport them. If they continuously show a pattern of bad behavior, I would say deport those individuals. For everybody else, I do agree, need to slow down because our forefathers put certain amendments in place. Moving on into the future, I do 100% agree that we should go by the amendments, and undocumented immigrants do deserve those rights because it is currently written in place. Thank you for listening. This 1817 Project, here to have a conversation. Please leave helpful comments down below. Moving forward, let's try to actually help one another as intellectuals, whether you're on the right, whether you're on the left, doesn't matter. I'm neither one. I'm here to learn. Thank you.